Yes, go ahead, Mike.
Well, in the category, you've spoken about it, Mr. President, gun violence restraining orders. They're called. California actually has a version of this. And I think in your meeting with governors earlier this week, individually and as a group, we spoke about states taking steps. But the focus is to literally give families and give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process so no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession of that individual.
Or might take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system, because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process second.
Good evening. As far as the answer to your question about due process, we should never, ever, ever allow due process to be tossed out of the window for anyone for whatever reason, because on a slippery slope that you'll never get back from. Without the 5th and the 14th Amendments or the 4th Amendment, we wouldn't, like blacks in general, we wouldn't even have rights when we go into a courtroom where we'd be protected. And to talk about just trying to take away somebody's rights because you feel that they're a threat to somebody else, that absolutely cannot happen except unless it goes through the court system. And as far as gun ownership, the way it's supposed to work is if people have the right to bear their arms, whether it's concealed or whether it's open. If somebody does try to attack a large number of people, most likely they'll be confronted by other people who are armed. The problem that we're having is the criminals are concealed carrying illegally, and the legal, law-abiding citizens are having their hands tied behind their back. So when I hear the government talk about, oh, you don't need an AR-15, you don't need a Desert Eagle, I went out and bought 4 of them. So that's what I got. But my thing is, we can't just say mental illness anymore, because you're dealing with, who decides what's mentally ill? Depression, eating disorder, all that's classified under mental illness. And the thing about it is, just like one of your last callers said, it's like that'll stop people from coming forward if they do think there's something wrong with them.
Well, so what do we do about people who threaten to blow up classrooms, threaten to kill people, threaten to commit terrorist attacks, and eventually carry them out? So you do nothing until the act is carried out.
If somebody does make threats like that, you give them their judicial process. The police find out about it, the police go and they investigate it, and then the police get a warrant and such, and then they bring it before the judge, and if the judge deems that this person is now much too dangerous and they can prove that this person did all this, then they can talk about property forfeiture, because that's what the term is. The system can property forfeiture means they can just take your stuff. That's a violation of the 4th Amendment, and I have constitutional rights. One message I want to get across to all these liberal callers, oh, you don't need an AR-15, you don't need a Desert Eagle. Let me tell it like this. My right to self-defense, whatever I see fit, supersedes your feelings of safety.
We agree.
So
we agree. Preach on. Preach on.
Go do something about it. But the thing about it is, unless I commit a crime, I'm not a criminal, and I have constitutional rights that supersede your feelings of safety. So if you don't want to see me carrying, well, I got concealed carry. And the thing about it is, I would feel safer if I had a teacher teaching my children who had a concealed carry than one who didn't, because I would rather see that teacher being able to actually protect the kid than just turning their backs and getting shot full of holes.
You know, I like your answers. Anything you said that I now disagree with, because I think you're right. If you go through the due process, and if the courts deem the person mentally unfit and unstable and a danger to society, then you can get into the discussion about their forfeiting their right to bear arms. So I think your point is well taken. I think you've answered the question for me, and thank you for saying it so well. DeQuan,